For all these years. And when you talk about relationships and when you talk about all this stuff, it is so important that people understand that it is a work in progress, but it is acceptance. What are you going to accept? And in my life, being married 30 years and together 35 with my better half is just amazing. You're going to make adjustments all throughout the damn relationship. It isn't set in stone in year 3, 4, and 5, right? I'm a baseball player in my past. This is a long season, right? Life is a long season. It's a process agenda. So when I hear Zoe talking about, hey, you guys better keep your heads up and start to be eager learners and pay attention what's going on, not just guys, girls too, everyone, that we work together in this. It's a long season. And by the way, at the very end of this whole process, which we all have to do the same thing, and, we in this world and go wherever we go, however we want to, believe we go, it still matters. How did you act as a person when you were here?
Right. No, that's big time. How did you treat people? How did you treat yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, that's big stuff. Sean, as always, brother, we appreciate you for bringing the town into the business, Oakland, Bay Area, town business. Thank you, good brother.
Absolutely.
Call in anytime. You already know.
I love you, and I love what you're doing. And, I call because relationships are the most important thing in this planet, and we need to learn how to do them better, and you are helping that out by making people think.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Call anytime. I appreciate it. The number to dial, because Oakland just came into the building. If you want your city, rep your city right now. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Call in right now, and I want it, guys. Somebody in my chat room, Yogi Fish, says, I married a jerk in hiding. Are you married to a jerk in hiding? Maybe a passive-aggressive jerk, right? Because sometimes, passive-aggressiveness is still aggression. It's still a form of aggression because it manifests itself via microaggressions. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. True or false? Mindfulness lowers negative emotional reactivity in relationship. Mindfulness actually improves relationships. What in the heck is mindfulness? Am I to be mindful of my environment? Am I to be mindful of my partner, significant others doing their whereabouts and what they do and how? Because what happens is you become a micromanager. And where there is a micromanager in a relationship, you have someone that will potentially use microaggressions. Right? They must feel a sense of superiority. This is why they're micromanaging you. No. We're not talking mindfulness. We're talking about mindfulness of self. Where is your silent observer? Back in the days when they had those TV shows with a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder. Where is your objective, silent observer whose only job is to be mindful of your thoughts, words, and deeds? Where are they? Because we got so much vitriol and so much veracity, right? We want to we think we got a truth for our partner. And this is what turns us into a jerk in progress. Mindfulness is for you. Being mindful of you, your thoughts, your responses, your reactions, your words, your deeds. When we come forward, we're going to deconstruct your inner jerk.
Hustling times, ghetto streets,
back in the building for yet another riveting discussion. By default, we are all works in progress. But it is an act, a conscious act, an effort put into being a jerk in progress. You got many people who have practiced for many years to be a jerk in progress. See, when you struggle with envy, that downgrades you from the default position of work in progress to jerk in progress. See, envy is an inside job just like happiness is. See, you got to do the work in order to be happy. But how you do that, you have to expel or evict envy. How do you evict envy from your spirit? You evict envy by evicting its cousin. Who is envy's cousin? Comparison. Stop comparing. Right? Huh? You can let the third cousin evaluation, objective evaluation stay. But comparison that is rooted in envy, they got to go. Nobody walks your path, you. See, you're going to meet people. Oh, what's the Earth, Wind, and Fire record? Fantasy. You will find other kinds that have been in search of you. You're going to find people. That was the law of attraction in 1970 before the book even came out. See, you're going to find people that are fine-tuned to what's wrong with you. They're not there to just really bother you in the way that you think, but the reality of it is they're there to wake you up to the problem of you. Yes, we're born a work in progress. We're born on task. And what happens is we get distracted with entitlements. We get distracted with victimhood mentality. We get distracted by the work. You have to understand. Can I tell you something? Listen, you can't climb a ladder without the lowest rung. Somebody meme it. See, you can't climb the ladder without the lowest rung. See, what's wrong with you is an escalator to what could be right with you. If you just embraced what's wrong with you as an opportunity to internally grow up by unraveling it without judgment, without comparison. Right? I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. If you're just tuning into the Voice of Reason, we're going in right now. I want to give you the insight on what's happening. Tonight's topic, how to date or marry a jerk in progress. See, my question is, how'd you get him? Huh? How did you get him? How did you meet him? How did you meet her? How did you meet in progress? See, you're going to always meet a work in progress, but how did you find the jerk in progress? You know that old saying, when you point the finger at me, how many fingers are pointing back at you? Oh yeah, there are more fingers pointing back at you than there are fingers pointing outward to your preferred source of the problem. See, this is what makes you a jerk in progress. Not being accountable, right? Not being accountable for the chaos you cause. Oh, it's everybody's fault. Oh, God. It's everybody's fault, huh? You and your significant other do not have to share the same opinions and subscribe to the same beliefs all the time. However, most couples fail to realize this fact because they are either too busy looking for perfection or too occupied focusing on their partner's flaws. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I don't know if people are listening tonight. Call me right now, 1-800-920-1580. Are you accept that sometimes the love of your life will act? Oh, y'all got to hear this now. I don't know if you want to hear this. Are you willing to accept that sometimes the love of your life will sometimes consciously and unconsciously hurt you, disappoint you, frustrate you, let you down? Listen, can I don't you know the word respect is subjective, right? The word respect is subjective because what one person may respect, another person may not. So how often do you disconnect from a person because they did something that you may not respect? See, that tells me the level of your love. What does respect actually mean? When we get into the word, what does it mean? Right? The word respect and revere and regard and, all of these words are etymologically related. Revere, well, I revere this person. This is where we get our word reverend. And the root of revere is fear. So we're going to go deep into it. We're going to go deep in reverend from revere. And the root of revere means fear. Like, people don't know this stuff. You think you respecting somebody or you revere them, but you actually scared. Oh, I don't want to leave. I don't want to lose them. I don't want them to leave me. What? See, nobody digs this way. You're supposed to have those two silent, right? In the Quran, the Muslim will say, I have an angel on my right and I have an angel on my left. And before I perform, I must greet both angels because they are my witnesses in life. Are your own witness. And when you close your own eyes to the fact that you are willing to be a jerk in progress, your relationships are always going to be topsy-turvy, upside down, inside out. Can you be a good person if you've done bad things? See, a lot of people, I keep trying to tell you, there is no oxy-tied person. In other words, the clean. Nobody is oxy-clean. Nobody. Not one. Not your favorite preacher who says, you know what, my bad, I was wrong about the scriptures I've been preaching for over 30 years. My bad. You gonna refund the millions? Nobody perfect. But when you're willing to stay broken, you're now a jerk in progress. When we come forward, Zoe's gonna keep cooking with olive oil.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
or how many times, right, has all the songs that you've been with since you started liking music traveled to various relationships? So you want to be a jerk in progress because nobody wants to look at themselves and say, I am the problem. I've been the problem. The problem. I keep the problem popping. I'm the fire starter. I'm the wick in the dynamite. Nobody wants to say it, but I'm going to say it. You jerk. When we come forward, Zoe Williams going to keep cooking.
But I want you to want me to.
A Jerk in Progress. An intriguing look at how to deal with a character-flawed significant other. We've asked many conversations in the first hour, which, I mean, geez, real respect even exists in a toxic society. Real respect in relationships, right? Those relationships that are found to be in a toxic society, can real respect even exist in those conditions? How do you accept an imperfect partner? Are your so-called flaws getting you down as well as your partner? The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. True or false? You don't have to accept your significant other's abusive behavior, but if you're going to be with them, you have to accept them for who they are. 1-800-920-1580. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think. How do you accept differences of opinions, differences of belief in intimate relationships? How do you do it? Can anyone that you love deeply overnight turn into a monster, turn into a jerk? These are real questions that we need to ask. And I would say early on in the relationship, what leads good people to doing bad things in relationship? Don't you know the love of your life is always going to break your heart over and over and over again? It's a natural process of the movement. This is what happens, right? Then that leads you back to this question. How do you learn to cultivate acceptance of your own faults, of your own flaws, right? How do you get past you? Can you project a lot of this stuff onto people? They may not be as you thought. The worst part about them might be your interpretation, or misinterpretation of them. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line right now. I need to talk to everybody. I need to know your inner jerk. My inner jerk is I can be highly inflexible when I feel disrespect. And remember, disrespect, respect. We're going to get back to that. Let's get to callers now. Yogi Fish, New York. What's up?
Hey there, Mr. Zoe Williams. How you doing? I hope everything's good for you, brother.
Man, I'm in here trying to cook with some grapeseed oil. What's happening?
Grapeseed oil? I thought you was using the cholesterol grease or something. Man. It's Friday night. We cut off the diet on Friday.
All right, cool. I got Crisco in here now. Go ahead, brother.
Heavy lard. But no, this is a great subject. I tend to only call on subjects that I can get help with. Because I got a lot of opinions, but I like the way you frame things and bring out solutions to problems that maybe we're all carrying around. But this is a good one because, I was married to a jerk. But I didn't know the phrase to say use the B word back in the day. So, it's healthy the way you're phrasing it as jerk, because I'm like, that makes more sense, better way to put it than something more aggressive.
Right.
And the end of it, I'll put the end and go backwards. I was in prison because of this ex for no reason, and I got out of prison real quickly after that. Like, this person had to get me out because she had told a lie in prison, and so I got a divorce from that. But this person, because they were a bit of a jerk, and I knew she was a bit of a jerk, but I saw it as a cute thing. Like, okay, you try me every so often, or you do things to test me or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but, we function that way. But one of the things you said in the night was that we tend to be the ones that create those type of people. We want someone to love us or care for us in a certain way. We're willing to accept all kind of mess. And I have to admit that part of my thing was that this person kept testing me to see how far I could go. She could go to test me, and it went from little stuff to big stuff. And pretty soon I was like, doing this stuff on purpose, and the level of what you're doing is not cute anymore. Like, why are you doing this?
But
and
see,
it's like, this is
but you said it was cute, though, Yogi. When you said it was cute, you gave her a pass to continue. Cute means keep going.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know what I know now. Thanks very much. I mean, I wish you were around before to tell me this. But, you don't know you're creating your own pain, phrase it tonight. I just didn't think of it that way. You know what I mean? I thought this is what that person is. It's not my fault. But then I realized I gave him a pass.
Exactly.
I said, okay, keep going. See how far you can take this. And I didn't know what she told the police, but they came and took me, like 5 cars came and took me away.
Wow.
But it was all, I don't know what it was, but it seemed like something that them say, you got to be in a prison here. But that part of it, we as black people never get to use words like jerk. You know what I mean? We don't get that kind of referencing of everything. So I appreciate you phrasing it in that way to help see some flaws that we make our own problems, man. So I appreciate that.
Man, I love you, big bro, man. Call in anytime you want. You already know, man. I appreciate it. It's a special night when Yogi Fish calls in. The voice of reason on KBLA. We framing it different. Have you consciously chosen to be a jerk in progress? Because that work always keep coming. When we come forward, we're going to Palm Springs, California.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Stress and emotions. Not only are they out of control, but they're major contributions for weight gain. Introducing Breathe Infinity, where we teach 5 proven techniques that reduce stress and helps you lose weight. Sign up for our stress-reducing class on July 12th and discover how deep breathing relieves stress, regulates emotions, and helps you burn fat. Go to breatheinfinity.com and sign up for our $99 stress-reducing special. Use discount code KBLA and save $20. Go to breatheinfinity.com and exhale.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you services and solutions.
full circle after coming forward. The voice of reason, Zoe Williams, is live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight's topic is so powerful. It's so fire. We in here cooking. Ain't no mountain higher than your internal mountain. Do you understand? And the mountain, the portion of the mountain you can't see usually covers the most ground. Much like an iceberg. See, typically we see the tip of the iceberg. Your young mask, your Jungian mask, the persona you project, is the part of the iceberg we see, the tip of it. That's your performance piece. That's the one with the manicured baby hair. The sculpted baby hair, right? That's that part that we see. You seem put together. You carry yourself well. You don't seem disrespectful. Oh, but below the surface, I'm trying to tell you, ain't no mountain steeper than the inverted mountain of undiscovered, unacknowledged, unhealed wounds. See, you got to dig down to get to the top of that mountain. See, you have to climb the mountain that is showing to people. In other words, I have to climb it and project a sense of, yeah, I'm good. I've made it. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I can present like I'm okay. Yeah, no. That's the easy part of the mountain. That's the mountain we can see. That's, hey, he looks like this. But when you go downward, inward, and you start to uncover, and you start to excavate, boy, you're going to see the real work that must be done. We've got callers on the line who might want to talk about their inner jerk. Let's go to, is that Izara from Palm Springs? Let's get them on the talk to us.
Hi, how are you?
I am alive and well. How are you? I hope you're well.
Good. I am continuous work in progress.
Nice.
Well, my inner jerk, I listen to you a lot, and I had to call in for this because it touched a lot of heartstrings with me. And I would have to say my inner jerk is when I don't always listen to my opinion when it's different than mine. So I try really hard not to take, just because it's not my opinion, not to take it personal. And, yeah.
That's great, though. That's beautiful. And the fact that you were moved to call in, we appreciate that. And you have now earned a spot on our phone list board. You can call in anytime as a preferred caller.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being that instrumental voice on the air. We appreciate you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Call us. We want to hear your stories. We know there are a lot of jerks out there. Don't be afraid. Embrace your jerk. Huh? It's okay. And that's the only way of being a jerk. And go back to being what you were born to be. And that's a work in progress, a perpetual work in progress. Right? What you don't want to become is a jerk in progress. Someone who is resistant to the work. Someone who is resistant to accountability. So, that's right. Face your jerk. Face him. It's okay. Listen, there are going to be times where your inner jerk will ask you the question, you want me to handle it? You got to be person enough, the bigger person, to be able to tell yourself no. Right? Sometimes, listen, my inner jerk, I have been a jerk on many occasions. And I will be a jerk moving forward. But let me just say, I try to work on my jerk. I've been a jerk in many situations, on many occasions, and as I've stated before, it always feels like a spiritual demotion for me, because I'm about self-mastery. personally, right? My day, 6 a.m., I'm writing my next book, book number 5. I'm working on television shows, working on a lot of stuff. So, again, I'm trying to elevate beyond what holds me back. And I know no one, nobody, no situation, circumstance, or event can have dominion over me unless I sign off on it. So low-level behaviors, high-level behaviors, right? Indifferent behaviors. This is all me signing off. So I'm never going to put myself in a position of blaming someone else. I understand that wounds have a gravitational pull. Unhealed wounds have a gravitational pull that pull in situationships that are designed to irritate and agitate those wounds so that they can go off like the oil indicator in your car that says check oil, right? Pain works that way. Many doctors will tell you the same thing. When you have pain, that's your body saying, hey, over here in the small of my back, there is a pinch. I need. Well, that's what it is for relationships as well. And sometimes you got to start with self. We all want to correct our partner. I'm going to tell you right now, the inner wounds of your partner is their responsibility. You're not supposed to capitulate to their unhealed wounds. That makes you a white knight to someone's unhealed wounds. Do you understand? When you capitulate to their beliefs, their standards, their principles that they have constructed to protect a wound that they don't want to heal, that they don't identify with, you become like a white knight. Baby, you know, I'm afraid of this. I can't. And then you can, okay, I got you, girl. You know, I need a hug. That let me know you know. You have to understand, this is born out of a wound. And you've turned it into an expectation, a demand. No, that's just how I am. That's how I was raised. No, hey, grow up out of that. There is a higher level. There is more to love than you just getting what you think the wound needs. You don't want to be a white knight to a wound. I don't know who I'm preaching to tonight, but the word is going out across the airwaves. 1-800-920-1588. Let's get to the phone lines right now. We got Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan. Jump in here, bro.
Peace and love to the family nations. Honor to you, Zoe.
Yeah, what's happening?
Listen, with your permission, I have a question and hopefully a constructive comment with your permission.
Well, what is it about?
It's about the topic at hand.
Okay, well, what is the question?
The question is, knowing that we're lifelong works in progress, is there ever a time that being a jerk in progress is appropriate, given the mantra that everyone doesn't deserve the same aspect or the same you?
So
everyone doesn't deserve the same you.
So who is the person that ascertains whether they deserve anything or not? Are you the evaluator of what is, like, who sets the?
Yes.
Let me just say this: it's better to not participate than to downgrade into jerk mode. So I would go divest. See, because you hear me say this all the time. I say, you can only help the willing. You can only assist the willing. You can only be in a companionate space with the willing. If they are unwilling, you divest so that you don't have to downgrade into jerk mode.
Well, when I say jerk mode, let me give some more text. I mean, I always say a queen is not a concubine, and a concubine is not a queen, and 304s have their place, right?
Wow. Okay, keep going.
You are the mindset, okay? If they're not a queen, they're a concubine, or they're a 304, you know, those are different, those are 3 levels of relationship, not in a disrespectful, because there's etiquette, there's protocols. You can't and treat a president the way you treat your homeboy, right?
But if you choose to interact with those three different levels, you're going to get three different consciousness, right, levels.
Yes.
And you're going to get three types of behaviors, right?
Facts.
So then it comes back to, what are you participating in willingly, right? This is why I say jerk in progress is a demotion from work in progress. Because the jerk is you internally justifying lowering your vibration. I'm saying before you lower your vibration, divest from the situation that has people in it that are willing to participate constructively.
Well, listen, you just took me from the root to the crown. I appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's some mad clarity right there.
No, but see, I know you Scorpio, and Scorpios, they want to justify their inner jerk. They want to. They like, please do something. Come on, you know that. The Scorpio is like, you did that to me as much as, I'm finna show you better than I can tell you.
You know what? You ain't got to put me all out there. But anyway, you all in my neighborhood. You in my pocket.
Hey,
get your hand out of my pocket.
Hey, where that Luther Vandross record? Give me the reason to kill you now. Come on, that Scorpio. Give me the reason.
Facts. Listen, so not to belabor the point. I appreciate y'all so much. You and chat and everybody. Listen, I'm supposed to be resting because I got a 12-hour drive to go. Lay my stepson to rest in North Carolina, right? But when I heard respect is a reflex of memory, it sparked a memory in me. And very quickly, when I was mobilized several years ago and still married, when I first left for those 18 months, about 3 months into it, I started having pain in my abdomen. Going back to medical call, Army, doing training, that stuff. Eventually, I was like, you know what, my dang appendix will come 17 months in 6 days, my appendix went out. The day that I was supposed to return home, my appendix went out. The ex came and met me where I was stationed at so we could drive back and discuss our divorce. When she got there, she was treating me all kind of crazy. And I was like, wait a minute. Who are you? Did you forget who I am?
See? Right there.
Respect is a reflex of memory. I was like, did you forget who? Because she was all hella disrespectful. Hell, I was like, no, this is not happening. Who are you and where's my wife?
Right.
So, yeah, it's just crazy. You took me back, man. Hey. I'm trying to get up off of this, but I'm going to ride this thing on out, and I'll sleep 2 extra hours and make it happen. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the chat, your staff, your engineers, everybody. Peace and love to y'all, man. Whenever I can support, I will, man. Mad love.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate the call. That was Harold Ali, man. What's our time? Can I squeeze one more? Let me get that brother in here, man. AK from Vegas. Or he's in Vegas, but he's from town business. Get in here, AK.
Man, what's happening, though?
What's happening, man?
Man, this show is speaking to the core. I'm living it. You saw up in the chat, I was like, man, I need to cut this one and her kids loose because it's out of control.
Wow.
But then I wonder, am I mirroring? Like, I know I got issues. I know I'm an asshole. I'm a Scorpio. It's funny. He was just talking about the Scorpio thing. So I know, on an intellectual basis, I try and figure out, what's going on. Like, where's the logic in it? And it's like, ain't no logic. You know what I'm saying? And everything that comes up to, I got to just bounce. You know what I'm saying? But I feel, beholden. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I done made a norm out of the fuckery. And it's like, man, I'm in Vegas, hometown in Oakland.
So, AK, let me just stop you real quick, bro. That's 2 curse words on AM radio, fam. Like, You can't do. When we come forward, we gonna talk some more to AK. My engineer Andy is gonna give him the riot act about no profanity on the air.
I'm getting to you, babe. Oh, no, darling. No wind, no rain.
Can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and
Huh? Yeah, that's a versus for you. Stevie Wonder versus Marvin. Yeesh. I'm going to say this. Stevie Wonder has a larger catalog. Has wider catalog, deeper catalog. I'm going to go there right off rip. But when Marvin was on his stuff, Marvin was kind of untouchable. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Voice of Reason. We turned up tonight. We have great conversation going here. Everybody is talking about their inner jerk. How to date or marry a jerk in progress. First, you have to get comfortable with the jerk in you. If you're uncomfortable with the jerk in you, you're going to judge the jerk you're dating. You're going to condemn the judge you're dating. You're going to try to fix the judge you're dating. You're going to constantly nitpick and evaluate the judge you're dating because you refuse to do those same things to yourself, because it hurts more to judge yourself, to critique yourself, to evaluate yourself than it does to try to hold somebody else accountable. 1-800-920-1580. That's the number to dial. AK from Vegas. Well, he's in Vegas, from town business, Oakland. No more profanity, sir.
Gotcha, man. My bad. I ain't trying to get the FCC on y'all.
Yeah, man. Talk to me.
Right. So, yeah, I guess that, them words, stem from the emotion around my situation where I'm trying to be what these kids' father ain't gonna be today's kids. And you accusing me of this, you accusing me of that, and this and that and the other, and I'm like, what are you seeing? I'm like, are you just totally insane? Or am I insane? Or are we both insane? I'm like, man, I just want the numbers to add up, and they ain't adding up.
No, I get it, but what is the specific issue that you guys are at odds with?
Well, for example, last night I make a run to the store. The store is a few miles away. I get back, she like, who was you out there messing with? Did you go meet the other chick? I'm like, first of all, ain't no other chick, because if it was, I wouldn't be here at all in the first place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So stop even bringing that to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why is you? It's like you making up stuff, making up lies, believe the lies, and then project the lies on me, and I got to deal with it. I'm tired of that.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm listening.
How often do you lie to yourself a day?
At this point, it must be every day.
No, this is a serious question. How often do you lie to yourself per day?
Every day that I think this situation is going to change, I'm lying to myself every day.
Boom. Because that's where I was going to go. Because I was going to say, do you tell yourself after? Because I know this situation has happened a bunch of times, right?
Right.
Okay, so then after it happens so many times, when do you tell yourself this is not going to work? So if you lie to yourself, do you magnetize the liar into your house? Somebody that's going to accuse you of things that you didn't do. I'm just asking, is that a potentiality? Maybe.
You know what? When I was listening to the show, I was like, am I mirroring how I feel? And it's being manifested back to me. Like, is she seeing how I don't feel the same way about her no more because of how she acts? Because I don't feel that way because of how she be acting?
No, let's just keep it a buck. Women are a human antenna. The antennae picks up spirit, picks up emotions, picks up all kind of stuff. And if you have something in your spirit that's saying, I don't want you, get out of here, this ain't working, boy, don't have those thoughts in your head while you having sex with her. It's really going to transmit. Because the sex might be good, but then later, the emotional, spiritual residue is like, for the next 3 days, she'll be like, what is up with this dude? If you're anxious about anything, it'll transfer through the act of sex for sure.
I can see that. well, you know, that has become a non-existent thing because I don't like how you talk to me. If you talking to me foul, I'm not responsive to that.
Well, if
and
she
that's
talked to
kinda
you,
where it is.
if she talks to you bad, how do you get over that hump and stay?
Leave the house and go smoke a J.
But that doesn't fix the problem.
It sure don't. The problem still exists when I get to the house.
So you got to stop lying to yourself then. If you already have it in your spirit that you know this ain't going to work because of the way her mouth is, and you're not set up to accept the mouth.
Right.
Right?
Unacceptable, yes. Time to face up for me to myself.
But you do know there are techniques for you to be able to not get emotional when a woman raises her volume, her intensity, her emotions and aggression when she's talking to you. You do know that there's a technique for that.
Yeah, I'm aware, not totally, you know.
So why haven't you looked into that as a means of overcoming, right, an obstacle in your spirit that could demote you to jerk in progress? Because what if you could elevate beyond that trigger to where she could talk any kind of way you wanted to and it didn't affect you? Which would you rather have? The freedom of her being able to talk any kind of way and it doesn't affect you? Or the burden of always being triggered by her mouth? Which one would you rather have?
The first one.
Exactly. So why not look at this as an opportunity to defeat your inner jerk?
Face it. Face myself.
Now, I'm not saying you should stay. I'm not saying you should stay with the woman. What I'm saying is there is still something here to be gained by growing up spiritually from the challenge manifested as a trigger for you.
I see. Just because I remove myself from the situation
doesn't mean this trigger won't go with you. It's going to go right with you to the next situation. And if they get slick in the mouth, you're going to get triggered again. So maybe the purpose of her being in your life is to teach you that you too sensitive when she talks or when they talk that way.
I can attest to that.
All right.
There you go.
Town business. Hey, man, thank you for calling, man. We love these kind of calls. We appreciate you, AK. You know you're on the Walk of Fame. You can call in anytime you get ready, man. We appreciate it. Thanks.
So, all right, go.
Yo, we cooking tonight. We are cooking tonight. This is why I say you can never really respect anybody. We tapped on it a little bit earlier today. We talked about the root of the word respect, right? Etymological root of the word respect. Re means back, right? Back. Re, back. Spec means look at, to look back, to observe. Most of us can only look back and see the pain we've been through. So what happens is when we look back, we are actually looking through the filter of what we have yet to conquer. So trauma is a form of respect. I know you wasn't ready for me to say that because the body remembers. That book on trauma. The body remembers. The body looks back. You can't respect unless you heal. If respect, the connotative term, the definition means to hold in regard. You can't hold anything in regard unless you cleanse the wound. Come on, man. You can't respect if the wounds aren't healed when we come forward. I'm going to the phone lines.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. Listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your brother Zoe Williams having a real conversation. Heavy stuff, man. The R-E in respect means back. The spect part, observe, to look back. Look back. Listen, if you're looking back and nothing has been resolved, there will be a residue when you look back. To look back, Krishnamurti, knowledge is a reflex of memory. Now, you have technical knowledge, which is useful. We need people to remember how to build a studio so we can have a studio. We need people to know how to build a computer and innovate on that knowledge, right? But guess what? Psychological knowledge is the problem. To look back psychologically without healing is to keep you on the hamster wheel of reliving. Oh, I know y'all ain't ready for that. Respect is reopening a wound. And you use respect to protect the wound, right? That's the context in which you, if you respected me, you wouldn't do that. Rob B from Nashville, Tennessee, get in here and talk to us.
Brother Zoe, my life situation is a continuation of your last call that questions about. Now, when you're in a situation like what he was speaking on, and you realize that the person you're with is not gonna be the forever situation that you hope that it would be, but you do see the curriculum that person brought to you, and you see the things that you need to fix in yourself. When and how do you determine that the curriculum is over and it's time to move on?
Well, and here's the thing. I love the way Iyanla Van Zant puts it. She said you're over something when you could be confronted with the same stimuli that used to set there's no residue of it remaining, right? That's how you know when you're over something. When there's still a residue, a response, a trigger, something that still sets you off a little bit, that's how you know you still got a little bit more work to do, right? But typically, most people discard work for a new situation, not knowing the work is still embedded in the new situation. You have to work through it so you can get through a thing. This is why everybody is a work in progress perpetually. But when you resist doing the work, that's when you downgrade to jerk in progress.
Okay, because in this situation, I would say that this has been one of the most reflective relationships, and one of the relationships that it came at a time where I was already had my eye open, because I've been listening to you for a while now, and I had already started to turn those fingers back to myself, like, okay, what am I causing in my situations?
Right.
That how am I bringing certain things into this situation? So I had already started to look at myself, and then when this situation came, there was a lot of stuff needed to burn off, old habits.
Yeah.
I'm 43, and I'd say I've had 30 years of wrong learning, growing up in the time I grew up with the music we listened to, and then all that nonsense and burning that off, and bad habits developed along the way. But then, and even trying not to be loved at one point in time. Look, I don't even want that. I don't want to give it. I don't want to be hurt.
But don't
that
you
kind
see?
of stuff.
But don't you see? Like, I'm listening to you. Don't you see? You get what you are. So you got somebody that irritated you, right? In a certain way. Whatever they did, the mouth, whatever, irritated you in a certain way. But that caused you to reflect, right? And now you're reflect, right. But are you reflecting on, should I leave? Or are you reflecting on, how do I reconcile, or here, let me say it another way. How do I turn off the trigger that is set off by this person? See, most people default to I'ma leave. But the question is, how do I turn off the trigger that is set off by this person? Now, I'm not saying stay in a situation if it's violent or abusive, but I'm saying, her mouth, just like example to the caller before. Go ahead.
Well, I've stayed in it a year, at least a year longer, because I understand that a lot of this is reflecting back to me the things that I need to work on. But I also see that the work is being done one-sided.
Her work is none of your business.
I get that. I get that part. But what I'm saying is the damage in the relationship is done.
Sure.
But if one person is trying to do the self-work and wants to fix it, but the other person is just existing for whatever they're getting out of it, but not willing to put in any work, then it's a dead situation.
So watch this. If you're a work in progress for life and your relationships are inconsistent in the sense that they come in and out, when did being in a relationship and the self-work that comes from being in a relationship turn into a group assignment? It's always you. It's not a group assignment. You don't have to wait in her paperwork in order for you to get y'all grade. You still got to be working regardless. See?
Well, that's definitely. I would say that's definitely, but I guess what I may not have the correct words to ask the question that I'm trying to get at is, if I understand that there's self-work. So with or without her, I'm going to do the self-work.
Right.
But at this point I see that the relationship itself is dead.
Right. So what you going to do? Right? Where do you go?
What I'm asking is leaving now opting out of what's still left to be learned, or is it, look, I see that as a dead situation. I'm not running from the curriculum. It's just I see that it's dead.
No, I'm not going to give you that answer. That's for you to discover. See, because the real question is, what are you still attached to? That's what you're not dealing with. What are you still attached to that makes you waffle on the decision? Because I can hear the waffle in you. Is leaving now like opting out? And you're going to always be working on yourself, right?
Right.
So I can't give you that answer. Only you can. And once you determine what it's going to be, you're going to stand it, or are you going to fall back into the attachment of what you're dealing with? Because you're attached to something, right?
Well, I guess the reason why I haven't left at this point where we are right now is I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what is she mirroring that I need to work on?
No. Those are questions for you, right? What is she reflecting back to you that you recognize? Because anything you recognize, first off, you can't recognize something you're not. Understand?
Okay.
I'm talking about in relationships, sir. You can't recognize disrespect unless either you've experienced it somewhere, you've been modeled by it, and if you've modeled disrespect, you have shown disrespect. Correct?
And I definitely have. And that's
I'm
the
sorry.
things that I know that I need to work on.
Hey, Rob, you called late, man. We got to go, man. It's 30 seconds. Hey, man. I appreciate you, man. Call in Monday. We could go back at this, man. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody tuning in. I start the conversations, but you finish them. The Voice of Reason was live tonight. Deuce.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Kevin Brown, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Advocates are demanding action be taken against the woman who accused the late Emmett Till of inappropriate behavior in 1955. Their call comes after an old warrant for Carol Bryant Donham was recently discovered. Bryant's accusations led to the 14-year abduction and murder in Money, Mississippi. Elon Musk is terminating his deal to buy Twitter. The Tesla CEO wrote a letter announcing the $44 billion purchase was off, citing material breach multiple provisions of the agreement. Musk could be liable to pay $1 billion for pulling out the deal. Kanye West is being sued by a fashion rental company. According to a lawsuit, he rented a bunch of clothes but didn't return over a dozen items and is skipping out of over $200,000.
On a pen, I got a list, can't resist. I preach it till I talk with a list. And who you know gon' do like this? Here on KB.